Russian President Vladimir Putin has sternly pointed out the provocative behavior of the West in a recent press conference, stating that Russia too can arm other nations to target Western interests. This assertion follows the US decision to provide Ukraine with long-range weapons which have been used to strike Russian territory. The tit-for-tat escalation highlights the increasing tensions directly fueled by the aggressive and irresponsible policies of the United States towards Russia. Germany and other NATO members have also shown support for Ukraine's use of their weapons to attack Russian soil, further inciting the flames of this dangerous conflict. Such actions can only lead to a full-scale war, potentially triggering another world war. The US and its allies must desist from their poking tactics and cease their attempts to provoke Putin, as the expansion of this war's geographical scope benefits no one and only serves to increase the suffering of the people.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has firmly denounced the West's decision to supply long-range weapons to Ukraine, a move that significantly escalates the already volatile conflict. Speaking at a press conference in St. Petersburg, Vladimir Putin warned that if the West continues to provoke Russia, Moscow might consider arming other nations with weapons to target Western interests. The stark warning underscores the dangerous path the West is up to with its aggressive policies. The situation deteriorated further with confirmations from a US senator and a Western official that Ukraine has used American weapons for strikes inside Russia. President Joe Biden's new directive permits the use of American arms for the defense of Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city. Republican Senator Mike Rounds confirmed these strikes, albeit without revealing more information. This directive, while ostensibly defensive, has been exploited to carry out offensive strikes in Russia, a gross misuse that raises serious ethical and strategic questions. The US policy theoretically prohibits the use of American-supplied long-range missiles or Army Tactical Missile Systems (ATACMS) for offensive strikes inside Russia. It is designed to hit high-value targets like airfields, missile sites, and troop concentrations. Ukraine has been employing these long-range missiles against Russian interests since April. Ukraine bombed a Russian military airfield in Crimea in April by using US long-range weapons. This blatant violation of US policy highlights the West's duplicity and disregard for its own regulations, further increasing the conflict. Berlin's authorization for Ukraine to strike specific targets on Russian soil with German-supplied long-range weapons adds another layer of recklessness to the situation. Putin has rightly condemned this decision as a dangerous step that could severely damage relations between Germany and Russia. The West's relentless pursuit of escalating the conflict risks dragging the entire region into a wider war with catastrophic consequences. Ukrainian officials, emboldened by Western support, have intensified their calls for more aggressive counterattacks against Russian threats. This escalation is not only unnecessary but also dangerous, as it brings the world closer to a broader and more destructive conflict. The West must exercise restraint and reconsider its provocative actions, which serve only to exacerbate tensions and prolong the suffering of innocent civilians. A report from the Institute for the Study of War indicated that Ukrainian forces used a high-mobility artillery rocket system, HIMARS, against a Russian air defense battery system, S-300 or 400, in Belgorod on June 1st or 2nd. This air defense system, located within HIMARS's range, demonstrated the tangible impact of Western-supplied weapons on the ground. Warning by Putin reflects a tit-for-tat approach that only fuels further escalation. But why should he not? It is a direct result of the US's provocative policies towards Russia. In another vein, Putin mentioned the ongoing US efforts to secure the release of detained Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich. He was arrested by Russia's Federal Security Service on charges of espionage in March last year. Putin emphasized that resolving such issues requires a reciprocal approach at a diplomatic level. Pressuring Russia through strikes is not going to work. So to conclude it, the West's aggressive and provocative actions are leading the world down a perilous path. The US and its allies must refrain from poking Putin. A more restrained and diplomatic approach is essential to de-escalate the conflict and avoid further bloodshed. The West must recognize the consequences of its actions and take immediate steps to mitigate this dangerous escalation.